everybody. My name's Alan. On behalf of the crew, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. You know, as I've said before, I mean, a lot of times when I'm driving over here, you know, just different thoughts come into my head. I generally don't plan what I'm going to say on the opening, and I think one show recently, the show after September 11th, 2001, we wanted to do something with a graphic that I had to bring in, but generally I just talk spontaneously and extemporaneously. And what I was thinking when I was driving over here today was that you know, so often in our lives we think we know our identities, we know that we're all the ways that we quantify ourselves, but deep within us, or even sometimes not so deep, we know there's more. We know that there is an experience that we can have that transcends all those limitations, all those limited ways we look at ourselves. We can know that we're from a certain country. We can know we're a certain religion. We can know we're a certain color. We can know we have a certain sexual preference. We can know we have a certain age. We can know what it says in our birth certificate, when we were born, what our names are, where we're from. But each of us knows within inside of ourselves that there's an experience where all those different quantifications, all those different divisions, all those different separations are blasted with an experience of love, with an experience that we are all the same love, that we are all from that same, however you look at it, the words have been used, the same Father, the same God, the same experience of that love, of that creator, of that creative power. And once again, that's what the show of Bridging Heaven and Earth is about. We have with us Wayne Peterson, who in his life was going through his life, and he thought he knew what he was. He was a career diplomat. He was the program director for U.S. government agencies for 32 years. He thought he knew what his identity was, what his role was. And then through a series of amazing episodes, amazing instances, he gave that up and became a spiritual teacher and an author. And he's written an extraordinary book called Extraordinary Times, Extraordinary Beings. And it's the experience of an American diplomat with Maitreya and the Masters of Wisdom. And when he was involved in his role as a diplomat, when he was going to the embassies and meeting all the rich and famous and powerful in Washington, D.C., he didn't know he'd be coming 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 years later on a show, a spiritual talk show like Bridging Heaven and Earth, to tell about his experiences of a vastness, of a love, of a creation that at that particular moment in his conscious awareness didn't exist. And so for all of us, I mean, we know in our hearts that there's an experience so vast and so huge and yet so central to what a human being is, that all the other things that we think we're doing and all the other identities we have and who we're at war with and who we don't like and who is causing us discomfort, there's a place where all of us can have that. All of us can have that experience. And that's what, you know, again, Wayne and I are going to talk about tonight. And we also have 2 music videos from the Leslie of Bridging Heaven and Earth CD, Oh Happy Day and Enough God. I mean, when we put those on in shows not too long ago, people were really excited about them, so we wanted to show them again. And really, it's an opportunity to have another chance to break down those walls of separation, those walls of division that each of us knows in our hearts is not it. We're bigger than Americans. We're bigger than the race or religion we think we are. We're bigger than the sex we are. We're bigger than the sexual preference we are. We are, whatever we are, is more gigantic and more, and that's why the masters could come, because they had that experience and said, I am the light of the world. And as I said a few shows ago, you are the light of the world as I am. And we can know that, and in that experience, there's a tremendous experience of love and a tremendous experience of togetherness. So it's an opportunity again. That's why we do the show. That's why Wayne drove in today, 6-7 hours to be here to share his experiences of his opening with all of us. So please, as we normally do, join me in a short meditation, and then Wayne will be on. We'll have some videos, and it's another opportunity. So please join me. Thank you. So the first video we're going to show is Oh Happy Day. This song was written by myself and Lesia. It's from the Lesia Bridging Heaven and Earth CD. It's going to be sung by Lesia. And at the end of this, we're going to have the, that also people requested we show again, the little promotional piece we did for the Bridging Heaven and Earth Foundation that we've talked about on numerous occasions before. So, Oh Happy Day.
Teach him how to hate, don't ask why, just do it. To teach him how to kill, so well, there's nothing to it. To teach him how to load and fire for the Holy Land. Take a little boy, make him an angry man. But isn't there enough God to go around? Aren't there enough soldiers underground? Isn't there a bit of peace to be found? Isn't there enough God to go around? And on the other side sits a mother crying. Son is back, but not for long, 'cause he lies dying. Another faceless boy shot down for their holy land. Though she prays for him, she can't really understand. She says, isn't there enough God to go around? Aren't there enough soldiers underground? Isn't there a bit of peace to be found? Isn't there enough God to go around? People, they close their eyes, they don't see what they're doing. 'Cause they'll trade anything for the dreams that they're pursuing. They burn, they bomb, they bargain for their holy land. But nobody wins that way, nobody ever can. Tell me, isn't there enough God to go around? Aren't there enough soldiers underground? Isn't there a bit of peace to be found? Isn't there enough God to go around?
Yeah, hi. I guess you noticed that was Enough God. That was Leslie actually wrote that. The other one, Oh Happy Day, we'll get to that. But I'm on the set with Wayne. Welcome, Wayne.
Thank you for having me here today.
Yes, my pleasure. So, why don't you give people a little fill-in of like how your life all of a sudden exploded on you?
Well, my life did explode on me. I think that's a fair statement. Actually, it happened back in 1982. I was watching a TV show, the old Merv Griffin show from Hollywood, California. And he said, tonight we're going to have a very different show. I'm going to devote the entire hour to one man in his book. And that one man was Benjamin Creme. And he had with him, of all people, Gore Vidal.
Oh my gosh.
And
what a combination.
Exactly. When he said, tonight we're going to talk about Ben's book, it's called The Reappearance of the Christ and the Masters of Wisdom. And not knowing anything about this, I thought, to watch Gore Vidal, a sharp-tongued guy, he'll just shred this guy to pieces, and this will be comedy. But in fact, Gore Vidal was very interested in this piece of work, and that's where I learned about this world teacher called Maitreya, never thinking I would ever see him. But I thought the story was interesting when Ben said he's come since 1977. He calls him Maitreya the Christ reappeared. Not a Christian thing, but the love energy, the Christ consciousness energy. And that really began a new episode for me because...
I mean, were you like just blown away? I mean, there's something really...
Yes, in a sense it did, because I thought it was time that this world was in trouble, as Ben said. We'll destroy ourselves.
And you were in a position to see all the high-level stupid
And
decisions.
exactly. We were in the midst of a great Cold War, you must remember back then. Things did not look good. And I wanted to investigate the story. That's all I wanted to do. But it ended up being a little more
So
than
what followed from that? So here in 1982, you watched the Merv Griffin show. At this time, you were still a high-level government official.
Yes, still
stationed in Washington, D.C.?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I ordered the book, and it took me some time to get it. And I had just finished reading the book, and I was in the parking lot of a grocery store. And two women were saying, Mr. Creme is coming to Washington, D.C.
Really?
And I thought, how bizarre, is this possible?
That is so weird.
And immediately, that following weekend, he did arrive. And I attended his lecture, and he stayed on to teach a little class of what he called transmission meditation. About 150 people showed up. And I thought, I've never meditated in my life. I'll give it a try. So I sat up in the front row, and it was at that point that Maitreya came in, sat next to me. I did not recognize him.
Did everybody else, or people who could see, like
him.
Benjamin Creme, could see him?
They saw him. Ben, of course, immediately knew it was Maitreya.
Right.
But I didn't.
Right.
I just thought he was another guy. And
Right.
eventually, I realized he wanted to talk to me. And so I told him, I said, you want to speak to me? And he pulled me up, and we went out of the room. And that's where he asked, he said, I need your help. And when people say, I need your help, it's usually, reach for your wallet, give me a buck, you know?
Hold on to it.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was looking at this man that looked about 29, 30 years of age, in perfect health, beautiful grammar, and I'm thinking, what does he need $1 from me for? And finally I said, I don't understand. What kind of help are you talking about? And that's when he said, I have a lot of people to take care of in this world, and I need all the help from humanity that I can get. And then did what Ben Creme calls having an experience of Maitreya, which is simply, we just call it a heart-to-heart message. Doesn't go through the brain at all, just goes into your heart, and instantly you know everything you need to know about this man. And people who have had that experience have absolutely no doubt that he is the guy who's going to save the planet.
And you had that day
right.
at that...
If you don't have it, you cannot understand the story fully.
Right.
But Maitreya promised he would do this for everyone on a day coming soon, I think, when he'll do it on international television and give everybody that telepathic message and this heart-to-heart thing so they will understand as well who he is.
Did he say which program?
Well,
he keeps talking about Bridging Heaven and Earth, but we haven't had a slot open. And
yes.
it's tough. though.
Well, there are people working on this, and from what I understand, that all the major networks have offered him time in this country, because I believe he'll speak on American television first, probably as Mr. Smith or something. But people will be genuinely interested in his message, and soon after that, they'll do a satellite link up and allow him to speak
Well, now,
to
I
the
mean,
world.
CNN and all the stations are all over the world.
Well, he's
anyway.
already been on CNN
Oh, really?
back in 1988. And many people say, I never heard this story. And I said, well, back in 88, CNN had him on almost every hour, on the hour, photographs of him, and it ran for a week with the title, Could This Be the Christ Reappeared? Because he appeared before 6,000 people in Nairobi, Kenya, at a prayer session outside. They didn't even know he was coming. He never said who he was, but he materialized out of thin air on the platform, took the microphone, spoke to them in fluent Swahili. People went down on their knees and said, it's got to be the Christ. And then he vanished into thin air as he came. But there was a journalist who took photos with his cameraman and wrote up the story. And that story hit the front pages of the Times in London, and it was in this country, and CNN carried it. But I think people just dismiss it as, yeah.
Well, it's got to have a follow-up. You know how
Exactly.
those things are, yeah.
People said, well, this is interesting, and then they just sort of forgot about it because nothing in their world seemed to change.
So, why, I mean, there obviously is a lot of trouble going on here.
Yes.
So why isn't Maitreya coming forth? Because at different
Well,
times we've had
that's what
different
people
people
always
on,
say.
you know, and,
Yeah.
and they were saying before the millennium now, whether the millennium was 2000, 2001
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well, first of all, I think it's a frightening thought for many people. We talk about a world teacher coming in. A lot of people don't like that idea. Even if they think it is a great spiritual being, they don't like the idea of somebody coming and telling them what to do. But of course, that's not what Maitreya
Right.
intends to do at all.
Right.
And the reason he is so slow, and we call it an emergence, because it is a very slow process, so he doesn't shock humanity too much, but is changing the world behind the scenes. He came in 1977 in the midst of the Cold War, and look what's happened. Within a very short time, in 1993, Time magazine said, it's been an age of miracles. The Soviet Union melts away, the Berlin Wall comes down, Germany's reunited, apartheid ends in South Africa, and the Israelis and the Palestinians begin to talk about giving them a homeland.
they seem
These
to
were
have forgotten
enormous
that
changes.
particular-
Well, but the
seem to
world
have
was
backtracked to
in
there.
a very difficult position back then. And
Do you think it's not now?
it is still dysfunctional. We live in a dysfunctional world, but at least we've taken a step back where the Russians, the Americans, the Chinese in these
They're
last
all
few
fighting
weeks,
somebody else now. we
they
found somebody
finally
agreed
agreed
to
to
fight
cooperate
somebody.
on some level.
There is that to be said.
Yes. But I think that Maitreya knows when the time is right to come out, and I think he realizes now that it is time to come forward, and precisely for what you're saying, that events are blowing up again in the world in places where we never expect them to get totally out of hand. And I think this will make him say, the time is right now. You know, he's been waiting for humanity to sort of invite him to come out, because he cannot just appear and override all the free will of humanity. He doesn't want to do that. But at the same time, if the world's in crisis, he's got to begin to show himself, and he doesn't come alone, of course. He comes with a host of others. So this is something we simply have to wait and watch for.
And so, and what were your, so you had this heart-to-heart, this
Yes.
explosion in you of what you would consider love or bliss,
Yeah.
and definitely knew that this person,
Yes.
whatever you call him,
You sense it.
Was
There's no way to describe it.
just extraordinary, beyond
Exactly.
extraordinary, however
Exactly.
people describe masters to be.
Exactly.
And so, what did you, like, run back to your office, pack your bags, say, I'm out of here? Or how long did it take to unwind for you to emerge out of that?
Well, it was very much of a surprise, but I did go back to work as usual. But it was only within weeks of that he appeared again and invited me to meet a number of these other masters who came with him. And at
What
that
was
time,
this? What was paint this picture? What was the scene on this one?
the scene on this one was quite different because I was at a gathering at a friend's home in Washington on Rock Creek Park, which is a lovely
Right,
residential
beautiful,
area.
right.
It's very nice. And they had this absolutely gorgeous house. And I had just arrived, and as usual, people gather in little clusters and are talking. And I start talking to an elderly lady, and suddenly there is this globe of light passing behind her head and going down the wall. And I'm watching this, and I'm thinking,
What is this?
what is this? And I'm not going to be the first one to say anything, so
Right.
I'm looking at it thinking everybody's going to see this and they're going to say, what is this?
Right.
But it goes around the room and it starts multiplying and nobody's saying anything. And I'm
Peter,
not
you're
hearing what
going
they're
nuts.
saying. And I said, I'm not going to say anything, you know, but it is so massive that I opened my mouth to say to this woman, don't you see this? And when I
It
did,
was like a big ball of light.
it was like, well, multiples now.
Multiple balls
Like
of
a
light.
chain.
Uh-huh.
And I opened my mouth to speak and nothing came out. And I said, this is strange. I lost my voice. And I'm trying to get my
And you were one who
voice
could
to
talk.
speak.
I mean, that was your whole.
Nothing's
life
coming out. And they think I'm choking. So they're beating me on the back. And I'm
They're
going,
doing the
no.
Heimlich maneuver.
Yes. And I'm going, no. And I'm pointing to my mouth and they think, oh yeah, he's choking. You know?
Wow.
And then suddenly there's this voice in my head very loudly says, do not tell anyone what you see. And I'm thinking, now what?
Now I actually have to choke on something.
And I'm still trying to speak, and suddenly I feel my knees getting very weak, and I just drop to the floor. Well, now the crowd is very worried about what's
Oh,
happened
geez.
to me. So they're pulling me up, and then I feel fine, but I'm sitting down, and all this is multiplying. And suddenly it becomes overwhelmingly that something is happening here that I don't know about, I don't understand. I might as well just sit down and go with it.
Right. And there's nothing
And just
you can
say to
do.
myself, I
Right.
hope this is something good and not
Right,
something
that I'm
evil.
not snapping.
Because
Right.
this doesn't fit anything that I
Right.
know.
This is just breaking down all the walls of reason.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
What we think is reasonable, obviously, is just a
Exactly.
tiny portion of it.
But that moved in on me, and I could not see beyond it. If people were in the inner ring, I could see them. They were standing there talking. Those outside of this circle, I couldn't see. And the circle moved tighter and tighter until it was totally around me. And then I cannot explain it. I simply disappeared into this light somehow, and suddenly I was in a totally different dimension. And there was eventually Maitreya and maybe 40, 50 of these masters of wisdom, and they started a conversation and started explaining things to me.
Like,
And
what was the first thing that? How were you feeling? I mean, were you by this time?
I was first
calm?
told there was an individual came to me and said, you have been invited to meet Maitreya
and you're
the
still
masters.
physically sitting at this party. Were
I
you
don't know.
conversing?
I don't know where I am
Oh,
at this
you-
point.
So you don't know where your physical body
No,
is.
I don't know where I am. Is all I know is that I stood up and hit my head on something, and I knew I was still feeling
Right,
the physical form.
right.
And he said, I'm your guide. I'm to take you to see Maitreya and the Masters. Are you ready? And I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm ready.
How do you notice things?
And I think I waited too long, and he said to me simply, it's all right. You don't have to come. You can reject this invitation. We'll put you back in the room with your friends and erase all your memory of this event. You will remember nothing. And at that point, I said, hey, I don't want to forget this event.
Right.
It's been too much
It's
already.
the experience was beautiful
Exactly.
up until that point.
So I
Even
said-
though you were slightly
Exactly.
disoriented.
And I said, let's go with it. And
Wow.
immediately we went, and it sort of opened up, and he showed me the world as he sees it, which is he can see anything he wants in multiples. And I explain in my book briefly, it's like sitting in a room with hundreds of TV sets, every one with a different channel, and you can see all of them and comprehend all the audio simultaneously without any problems whatsoever.
So what did you get out of it? That, that love is the answer, that we're
There
in
wasn't
trouble.
that type of message. The message was that he was gathering support among humanity. I was not the only one there. There were maybe 20, 30 other individuals.
And
But-
you didn't I mean, did you?
Well, there was
it
no,
wasn't.
it wasn't for me to recognize them, because when you're in the presence of someone like Maitreya, your focus is so attached to him that you cannot pull your
Right.
attention away.
Even the masters of wisdom kind of come in secondary.
Exactly. And it was really about, we are putting together people to help us, and we want to know if you are ready to help. Because I already sort of suggested I would at the first meeting. This was the second meeting, and once you say yes, they say, all right, we are going to examine you and see how best you can serve.
Wow.
And I said, what does that mean? And they said, oh, you won't remember a thing. We just read your mind, and you just stand here, and I don't remember what happened. And then he said, it's over, the exam is over. And everybody else left. But I wasn't ready to leave. And I said, wait a minute, I have questions. And he said, all right, you can stay. What are the questions? Well,
Now,
then
Maitreya was answering, or was this the guide answering?
Maitreya's
is answering.
is answering.
Okay,
And
okay.
the guides are saying, no, we must take him back. We can't keep the others waiting any longer. And he said, yes, you can. And of course, I asked a number of questions, and of course, he was very patient with me. And eventually we did go back, and then I understood what they meant by keeping the others waiting, because when I was returned to that room, somehow I was dropped into my chair with such force, I bounced right out and fell on the floor.
Again, so this is the second time you're on the floor in this party.
Yep, second time. And it was dark now, and everybody in the room was fast asleep. And I said, this is weird. I'm just going to get up and quietly tiptoe out and leave them
So, I
here.
mean, was your impression that time had stopped, or that something had happened,
Time had
another
not
dimension?
stopped.
Or?
I looked at my watch, more than an hour had passed, and these people didn't seem to recognize, because the minute I got up and was about to walk out, the lights went on and everybody came to life and started talking. And one woman looked at her watch and said, I just seemed to look at my watch a little minute ago, and an hour has passed. I don't understand.
Time is speeding up.
And at that, I just walked out of the room and went home.
Wow. All right, I think we've gotten a feel we'll get back to it, but it's an amazing story. It's an amazing book. So we're going to show the video that we talked about earlier. So let me reset that. The video we showed first was Enough God. That was written by Lesia and sung by Lesia. And now we're going to do Oh Happy Day, and that was written by myself and Lesia, and both of them from the Lesia Bridging Heaven and Earth CD, sung by Lesia. So it's Oh Happy Day.
Oh, happy day. No more painful walls divide us. Oh, happy day. It's a new millennium. Oh, happy day with spirit that guide us. Oh, happy day. We can finally live as one. We've been lost in our illusions. We were brainwashed from the start. We've been captured by contradictions that confuse a gentle heart. We've been pieces of a puzzle with a picture so unclear. We could never make much sense of how to love or what to feel. But I believe we can do it. I think we stand a chance. It just takes a bit of knowing it's like learning how to dance. Since we are the world, we can change the world. Oh, happy day. See that kid out on the sidewalk. We could label away the innocent, judge so many by the name. But when we all come together, things will be as they should be. It's time we all begin again to truly see what there is to see. And I believe we can do it. It's so easy when we try. Feel the light between us and remember how to fly. Since we are the world, we can change the world. Oh, happy day, see that kid out on the playground. Oh, happy day, now she'll know that she is free. Oh, happy day, she'll never have to worry. Oh, happy day, what religion she might be. Oh, happy day, we're gonna build a new tomorrow. Oh, happy day, we're showing all we can. Oh, happy day, we're not waiting any longer. Oh, happy day, it's all in the master plan. Since we are the world, we can change the world.
Hi. So we're back on the set with Wayne. So now you've been involved with this experience for quite a number of earthly years. What would you say is the world teacher's message? And here you got like say 15, 20 minutes, go boy.
Yeah.
What is the message that he would like? Because everybody watches the show.
He does have a mission, of course, and that is to show humanity another way of living on this planet. As I mentioned, we're living a very dysfunctional consciousness on this planet. That's why we have wars and all these problems. We want to go into a consciousness that allows us to go into a time, well, it's an old message, really. It's all about the brotherhood of man. It's about sharing justice, and if you have justice, you have world peace. It's something that we have always talked about, we know about, but we've never done it on the physical plane. And I think one of the reasons we've never done it, we've never created the institutions that we live with. We keep the religious side of our life sort of separate from the everyday living. Or as one physicist recently said, there's a law, there's a cosmic law that everything follows except mankind.
Mankind's behavior.
We run
Right.
counter to
And that
those-
law is
well, it's really unity.
harmony.
That there is harmony,
Right.
exactly, in everything. And that's why we don't really have the brotherhood of man, is because we see ourselves as separate, and we're really not.
So how do we bridge that gap, that disharmony?
Well, there's a number of books being written on this now, and of course there are people like the physicist John Hagelin talks about this. He wrote the book Perfect Government. He ran for president, as you know, as a candidate this last time. But there are other physicists talking about things like the unified field theory. I think where the great religious teachers in the past have taught us something, and humanity has failed to pick up the message because they really didn't understand it. Now physicists can prove it in very scientific terms.
And do you think that because it's provable in essence that people, or are the habit patterns and the disharmony
Can
so
be
ingrained.
changed. Well, it is so ingrained that it requires someone like a world teacher to step forward. This should not be necessary. Humanity has the message. We know what we're supposed to do. We just don't do it.
I mean, basically, all the great religions and all the great masters, at the
Exactly.
root was love,
Exactly.
love your brother as
But we
yourself.
don't do it. We only talk about it. It's up here as a philosophy, as a theory, and we love the theory, but we don't do it in our everyday lives. And that's why Maitreya comes to show us how to do it in our everyday lives.
And so how is he, let's say, once he comes, how is that going to, are everybody, is your understanding that everyone's going to get the experience you got that first day?
That's my
so
understanding.
the heart will open, that heart
Yes,
area.
the heart of humanity will open for the first time, and that should make an enormous difference
So
right
that would
there.
help.
Yes. But he said, you know, I come to simply teach humanity the art of living. He said, when you can have a time when there is no suffering, where you will be freed up, because right now, he said, the wealthiest of people on this planet don't enjoy life. He thinks we're far too serious, don't have enough fun, and we
Yeah,
have
joy
all
is
these
not a
burdens.
strong suit.
We don't have many choices. We're limited in what we can do, and all this is going to change. And of course, technology is going to help tremendously. And one of the technologies he's already promised is a new energy system, so that
So the whole
fossil fuels will
fuel.
disappear. Because he said the first priority is, of course, to right what we had done to the environment. And that has to be his number one priority, because he said we're killing the planet and ourselves and don't even recognize it. So the real message here is that humanity has failed to really live up to what we know we should be doing in the spiritual world, to the point where we're ready to destroy ourselves and everything on this planet. And the spiritual kingdom has been forced to send its representatives down into the physical plane and literally talk to us and steer us out of this mess we've gotten ourselves into.
Now, do you think just theoretically that unless people really have the experience that we're all one, we're all the same love, that all the ideas, another set of ideas?
Well, it cannot be another philosophy, and that's what Maitreya said. This is not a new philosophy. This is not about a new religion. This is not about any new ism. This is not a communism, capitalism, fascism, or any of this sort. This is simply a design for living differently, in harmony. And that he said it doesn't take a whole design. It's simply a method to you just go with it. And I think it all hinges on the brotherhood of man. When you put those divisions aside and you see that there is a unity, so that if I injure you, it's injuring me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And once you understand that, people will be ready to share.
Mm-hmm.
And once people are willing to share, you have justice in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah, we're
what's
not
lacking.
short on any commodity.
No.
We're just short on love.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can prove that this brotherhood of man doesn't exist because we still allow 25,000 people every single day to die of starvation on this planet. And it's been estimated that we could feed all the starving
absolutely.
and all the hungry in the world for what we spend on dog food in the United States every year. So it's not a financial burden.
No,
it's a
it's
psychological
Well, I
burden.
mean, that's not even.
We just don't understand.
How about weaponry? I mean,
Yes.
I mean, if we want
Yes.
to really go after lobbying, for
Yes.
stupid laws, I mean, there's a lot of money that's spent to
Exactly.
further or to perpetuate the disharmony. So,
Exactly. It's our awareness, and that's why we talk about a change of consciousness, because the current consciousness is one of divisions. If we had a consciousness of unity, then everything's possible.
yeah, I mean, we talked about this earlier, that, like that's what, every show in one way or another
Yes.
dedicated to the oneness and to how we can all, one way or another, have that experience.
Yes. But it has to be done on a physical level. It's not enough to think about it.
No, it has to be experienced. I meant,
You have to
right.
work it out, and that's what we often don't do. There's a lot of good people in the world trying, and a lot of good people putting this message out. But it's not enough, because the international structures are so powerful now that humanity simply cannot tackle it alone.
Now, what is going to change in that? Because I mean, are the
Well, first of all, we have already seen these big political changes take place in the international scene. That's just the beginning for Maitreya. He's dealt with leaders like Gorbachev and Mandela. And
so you're saying that they've all come in contact with him the way you did?
yes, and there's many more. There's thousands of people now who've been in contact with him. And I think most of them do not want to be known at this time, but they will once they see Maitreya go out on TV. They'll feel like, okay, he's been experienced by humanity, now I can say I know him. And I think we'll be surprised at the world leaders, not just political leaders, but economic leaders, social leaders of all sorts, religious leaders, who will say, I've known this man for 25 years or more.
And how does that fit in with the Masters of Wisdom? Why don't you kind of fill
Well,
them around?
the Masters of Wisdom were really introduced to the Western world by Helena Blavatsky a long time ago. And of course, Alice Bailey picked that up and wrote about it and wrote a book called The Reappearance of the Christ and talked about this time. And Ben Krim picked up on this. And then there's Helena Roerich also, who wrote the Agni Yoga series and was a very close friend of President Roosevelt during World War II. In fact, I find it interesting that she and her husband, Nicholas, the artist, lived in Tibet during the war, got messages directly from the Masters of Wisdom for Roosevelt, and passed these in letter form through courier to Washington. And all those letters are still available at the Presidential Library in Hyde Park.
Like, give an example of what the...
Well, basically, telling him that, the forces of light were working with the Allies, and that not to give up hope, that this was a fight that could be won. It was a fight against the forces of darkness, and that this was going to change the world. And of course, these letters are fascinating in the sort of the details.
It doesn't always seem like every side has God on their side, as Dylan said. Isn't that the wacko part of it?
Yes, but World War II was a very special time because it was a time when the forces of darkness did come out to the surface and instigated these huge, these wars that took place everywhere.
Do you feel that that's the case now in November of 2001?
No, I think the situation is very different now. That was sort of a special one-time event that is very unusual. Is what we see now is very often just a dysfunctional way that humanity deals with one another. I mean, we always have to work with what people call the forces of darkness. But Maitreya said on the day that he speaks to the world on television, he will keep them off of the mental plane of humanity, meaning eliminating much of the fear in humanity's minds about each other. And once I think you eliminate that fear on the mental plane, then the divisions will not be created. Because that's the way the forces of darkness work with humanity. They instigate divisions by just instilling a little fear in our minds. And that fear goes a long way to setting up walls and barriers and divisions. So I think when that is gone and the fear level drops, we'll be more willing to work with one another.
And that will be a one-time event, or will that...
It'll be a one-time event.
But just the difference will create such a momentum.
It'll be a one-time event, but we must remember that Maitreya plans to stay with us for 2,500 years or so, along with these others.
Does he think it's going to take that long?
Yes. I mean, not to change the world, but this is a period of time when many people on this planet are going to experience the ultimate, I suppose, enlightenment is the best word to use for it. Yes. It's only happened in the past to, one here, one there.
And even they were a little bit.
But now it's going to happen to millions of us on this planet.
It's not an unempowering thing because, sometimes when masters come, there's a tendency for worship. There's a tendency for subjugation of the glory of each of us.
Well, that's why I think with them actually being here, that we won't get into that, because usually that happens after the death of the great leader. If he were still alive, he would say, enough of this. But once he's dead, he can't
You are
speak.
as I am.
And then, because Maitreya always says, think of me as your elder brother. Don't try to put me above you. which I think is quite fascinating for someone like him to
Well,
say.
you would, if, see, to me, if somebody was having that experience, that's what they would say.
Yes, exactly.
Or, you know,
And people always say,
because
well,
they would know.
don't you
that-
feel in awe of being, you know, and I say, no, because he makes you feel so comfortable that you do think of him as an elder brother. You know he has this power, but you also know that he has this total love and is here to help you.
And that ultimately you have the power because you and he are
Exactly.
one.
Yes.
I mean, whether you're capable of tapping into it consciously at
That's
this
right.
moment, but
That's
you
right.
can be no other than that.
That's right. Because he said that God immanent that is in each and every one of us is the same God immanent in him. So what's the difference, he's saying?
Where else can it be?
Exactly.
What else can it be?
He said, I've just gone down the path of experience a lot further than you, and therefore I can help you and guide you out of your problems. And that's all he's here to do, is to guide us if we want. Or
And
we
so-
can choose to live in the misery that we're in.
Yeah, actually, people have talked about that. People who actually are going to make that choice are going to leave their physical body and go to other places because the whole earth plane is not meant to experience that level of suffering for much longer. So enough is enough there.
Yes, but I think that's what we want to eliminate now. And there are people writing books about this change of consciousness, and that
Yeah,
we
a lot
can.
of books. Yeah.
But it's what we look forward to, of course, is a planet vastly changed in a very short period of time. And I always tell people that I think that from the day that Maitreya appears on TV until we see a transformation of the planet may only be 20 years. So enormous changes are going to take place.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The way the transportation is, the energy system, the houses we live in, everything.
Well, if you
Technology
change
will just
fossil-
change
yeah,
everything.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the
And-
whole energy source is what creates a tremendous amount of the problem.
It's what keeps so many of the countries in the world poor,
Right.
is they simply don't have energy. And he said this new system will provide energy for the smallest villages around the world that almost, it's such low cost that we won't even think about it.
And you would think, knowing the nature of the way the Earth has moved forward until this point, that there'd be resistance to this. Now, how is
There is. There's already resistance.
Yeah, well, but when somebody's coming forth to really challenge,
Well, let's face it, one discovery, like in Maitreya said, will not be one, it'll be several new forms of energy.
Mm-hmm.
This kills immediately the whole petroleum industry and all the people who live off of it. So there's
there
fear.
have been theories that these technologies, and whether alien-based or otherwise, have been here and they've been hidden.
Yes.
And
Friends
you know,
of
you
mine
buy
at
out.
the Pentagon tell me that it is here.
Right.
They're simply trying to release it so that the public can make use of it. But they don't know how to make that transition, because if they kill the industrial society as we know it, the stock market, everything else, they're afraid we'll fall into some abyss and never come out. How do you get to that other side? Well, that's why Maitreya's here. He's going
So
to
he's
give us
in a way the bridge.
clue.
He's
He's
in
the
the
bridge
bridge.
to take us from this old consciousness, this old way of doing business, these old technological forms, and quickly go into a new time, easily, he said, if you wish it, without pain, without suffering.
And do you think that the societies as a whole will make that choice, and there won't be a lot of
I think the people will make that
dislocation?
choice. I think that the public in general, when they see him and he speaks, they'll say, of course, we want to do this.
Because, yeah, as I said at the opening, I mean, everybody knows that there's something bigger and there's
Yeah.
something more blissful than having all the divisions we have. and
But
all
there
that
are
hate.
some who will not. I would imagine there are people who do not want to see the world's power leveled off among everyone.
Absolutely.
There are people in a few countries, and maybe our own included, who say, look,
Oh, no.
if we can dominate
possible.
politically and dominate militarily, why should we give that up? But that's what the future is about, is giving up the power of domination of one country over others. And that's what we do today.
I mean, will it be, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, that the way we divide in terms of religions, in terms of countries, in terms of all these things, I mean, on some level, if you rise about 2 inches off the earth, are incredibly idiotic
Yeah.
and arbitrary, to be perfectly blunt about this. You know, are those going to be eliminated? Is there going to be like earth, left, earth, but not in a divisive way. Like you're wearing a black
Yeah.
top and I'm wearing a brown top, and we're not going to fight over it. Who cares? I mean, it doesn't matter. But, all the countries seem to have, border lines, and are those going to be broken down as you understand
Not
it?
as much as we think. Surprisingly, Maitreya said countries are sacred to him. And the reason is
He and I have to talk then.
there
He's
are
got to
cultures.
come on this show.
There are definitely cultures. I mean, the French are different from the English, and they're only a channel apart. Or the Germans are very different than the French. The reason is that there are certain types of people, when these souls are created, they use a certain energy, and they're plunked in the same real estate so that they can get along, and they form a culture.
Uh-huh.
And those should not be broken down.
Does he think the same thing about religion? Does he?
Well, that's why religions were created in the way they were. But unfortunately, man has made the divisions very, very high.
Well, he's also made them in countries very high, too. So
Yes. But those
I would get rid of him and
cooperation
start
will come.
again. That's but I
Well,
understand. There
yes.
are different ways of doing it.
There are different ways of doing it, and I can understand, though, that he does want to have enormous cooperation across the board. That will happen, but not homogenization.
Uh-huh.
And
Well, there are a lot of flavors in Baskin Robbins, but people wouldn't kill each other
Yeah.
for preferring one to another.
But I also tell people that we are going from a sort of state of understanding who we are, which is at a kindergarten level.
Mm-hmm.
And when Maitreya comes, we're going to jump from kindergarten to college courses without anything in between.
And be able to do it.
And when we
understand.
get there and understand that, we're going to look back at our understanding of religions and other things and say, boy, we really missed the boat here. We didn't understand what it was all about. And then we're going to recognize all the things we have in common and not all the differences.
Right. So how do you see, we have about a minute or two left, how do you see your role in this? Is to continue going around to write more books, to share your love on
Well,
books?
I think more people are going to come forward. I know that I have another job where I'm living. That's why I moved out there. And it's a special assignment, and a few people have gone out there. When Maitreya comes, he isn't going to need people to speak about his coming. That will be over. So we look forward to doing
So
more
what was that
interesting
show?
things.
Tell me what that show.
Well, you can invite me back, and we'll go into a totally
It's a long
different
show.
topic that opens up to the cosmos a little more.
Yeah? Okay, that's great. Okay, so I guess we're coming to the end of the show again. And I mean, whatever we think can be is possible, there's just more. I mean, there's just whatever our way of limiting the infinite. I mean, because this experience and this universe in a way is infinite. So for all of us, there's just an opportunity for all the shows we do are in one way or another an opportunity for that, an opportunity to find another spoke, another way to reach that center point of love. Because ultimately, when that experience is experienced, in whatever way we experience it, it's that love. And that love has no division, has no separation, and just has that experience that transcends all the differences we think. So if you want any information about Wayne's work, about Maitreya, about his book, please call me at 805-687-2053. There's an opportunity for us all. Whatever we're going to do from this breath on, whenever you're watching the show, the opportunity is to have more of an experience and to really let that love flow. So as we normally do, good night, God bless you. Come again.